sending 2 people to the hospital, and it lands a rapper in jail. 7 Sheldon Fox with the exclusive.
In a shocking chain of events, a rapper found himself both at the center of controversy and behind bars after a violent robbery that left 2 people hospitalized. The incident, which occurred on an October afternoon in Bay Harbor Islands, Florida, has become a focal point of discussion in the world of hip-hop. Sheldon Fox provided the exclusive coverage, detailing the connection between the rapper and the robbery, which saw him embroiled in a violent altercation that happened in a parking lot just across from the local police department and town hall. As the case unfolded, it became evident that the rapper's rise to fame would be heavily intertwined with his criminal activities, leading to a public outcry that continues to reverberate throughout the music industry. Lawyers representing the rapper, whose name is SHYY, revealed crucial new details about his case that helped set a new release date for him from jail. His legal team presented new findings in court, revealing a troubling history of criminal behavior. In particular, it was revealed that SHYY had committed an armed robbery in a green McLaren, and his careless social media posts would later become key evidence in his downfall. Just 2 hours after the robbery, SHYY posted a picture on Instagram, flaunting the McLaren he had used in the heist, further implicating himself in the crime. The rapper's attempt to showcase his wealth on social media ultimately led to an instant guilty verdict during his court hearing, and SHYY was left with little choice but to make a deal with federal authorities. This deal, which allows SHYY to reduce his sentence, came at the cost of his reputation. Rappers within the industry quickly began calling him out for snitching, including his best friend Big 30, who publicly defended SHYY. The controversy surrounding Shy's cooperation with the authorities stirred up a mix of admiration and resentment. DJ Academics weighed in on Shy's situation, commenting on the rapper's calm demeanor during his imprisonment and even noting the luxurious watches he wore while behind bars. Academics pointed out that SHYY appeared to be living a relatively comfortable life in jail, noting his fresh clothes and the fact that he was even playing Fortnite on his phone. Shy's case became an example of how the legal system sometimes works in favor of wealthy and influential individuals, despite their criminal behavior. However, to fully understand the gravity of Shy's crime and the deal he struck with the feds, it's important to look at the details of the robbery that took place in Bay Harbor Islands. On the day of the robbery, SHYY and his associate had planned to meet with a seller to purchase high-end sneakers, along with narcotics. SHYY, driving the iconic green McLaren, was seen waiting in a parking lot for the seller's arrival. The plan, however, took a darker turn when SHYY and his friend decided to steal the items rather than pay for them. Upon the seller's arrival, SHYY pretended to check the legitimacy of the sneakers, providing his accomplice with the opportunity to get into position for what was about to happen. An argument broke out during the negotiations, escalating into violence when SHYY was seen pulling a firearm from his waistband. The 2 sellers attempted to flee, but they were not fast enough. SHYY chased them around their car, firing his weapon and hitting both men, one in the back and the other in the hip. As SHYY dealt with the 2 victims, his friend took the opportunity to grab the sneakers and narcotics from the seller's car, throwing them into the McLaren. In the midst of this violent robbery, SHYY made a crucial mistake. While rushing to escape the scene, he opened the McLaren's butterfly door, causing his Louis Vuitton bag to fall out onto the parking lot. In his haste to flee, he did not realize the bag had been left behind. The bag contained nearly $5,000 in cash, an important detail that would later come back to haunt him. As police sirens began to wail in the distance, signaling that the authorities were closing in on the scene, SHYY quickly jumped into his McLaren and sped away. He made his way to Miami International Airport, where he rented a private jet and flew out of the state. During the flight, SHYY posted pictures of himself with the green McLaren on Instagram, further solidifying his connection to the crime. It wasn't long before law enforcement caught up with SHYY. The police department in Bay Harbor Islands issued a warrant for his arrest, charging him with armed robbery and battery. Within days, he was taken into custody, though he managed to bond out for $30,000. Despite being out on bond for 2 months, SHYY was eventually arrested and sentenced for his involvement in the robbery. The sentencing took place on April 20th, when DJ Academics tweeted the breaking news that SHYY had been sentenced to 63 months in prison, a surprisingly lenient sentence given the severity of the charges against him. The rapper had initially been facing up to 8 years in prison, but through a cooperation agreement with the federal authorities, he was able to secure a much shorter sentence. While some were shocked by the relatively light punishment, others began to question whether Shai's early release had been part of a strategy to boost his rap career. The conspiracy theories surrounding Shai's sentencing began to gain traction. Some believed that SHYY had orchestrated the robbery to create a bad boy image, hoping to garner attention and boost his popularity in the rap world. However, it was later revealed that SHYY had a history of criminal activity long before he signed with a major label. Reports suggested that he had been making money through illicit means since a young age, and the robbery was just another chapter in his ongoing criminal behavior. It was also revealed that SHYY had worked out what's known as a proffer deal with the feds. This type of agreement allows a defendant to provide detailed information about their own involvement in a crime in exchange for a reduced sentence. In Shai's case, he only had to snitch on himself, detailing his role in the robbery and providing information about the crime. His honesty in revealing his own mistakes helped streamline the legal process, and in exchange, he was given a lighter sentence. Despite this cooperation, the rapper's reputation continued to suffer. Rappers in the industry were quick to label him a snitch, with many expressing their disappointment in his decision to work with the feds. Some argued that he had betrayed the trust of his peers, while others questioned whether he was truly remorseful for his actions. Shai's actions were made even more ridiculous by the way he had flaunted his criminal behavior on social media. One of his biggest mistakes was posting a selfie with the green McLaren just 2 hours after the robbery, which clearly implicated him in the crime. The police were able to gather crucial evidence by tracking down the images on his Instagram, even identifying the serial numbers on the money SHYY had displayed in a previous post. When the authorities found the Louis Vuitton bag containing $4,910 in cash, they were able to tie SHYY to the robbery and secure his conviction. In addition to the robbery and firearm charges, Shai's Instagram posts also provided law enforcement with the information they needed to locate him. He had posted several images of himself flexing the McLaren, which led investigators to track him down through his social media activity. Shai's careless flaunting of his wealth and his criminal exploits would ultimately become his undoing. While SHYY served his time in prison, he continued to maintain his innocence and protect his reputation. He sent out a message from jail, making it clear that he still considered himself the king of Memphis, despite the negative attention he had received. He boldly declared that he had not cooperated with the authorities and that there was no telling going on. His message was a defiant response to those who had called him a snitch, and he maintained that his reputation in the rap game would remain intact. In an interview before his arrest, SHYY spoke about his rise to fame and the confidence he had gained from his success in the music industry. He discussed how his early success made him more determined to push forward, and how the public's reaction to his music only motivated him to keep working harder. He seemed to view his criminal behavior as just another part of his persona, a way to build his image and earn respect within the rap world. Whether or not SHYY truly learned from his mistakes remains to be seen. His story serves as a cautionary tale for other aspiring artists, showing how the pursuit of fame and fortune can sometimes lead down a dangerous path. SHYY may have been able to escape a life sentence, but his past actions and the deal he struck with the feds will continue to follow him throughout his career.